None of the parties involved in this Queenslip versus Marc Lamont Hill bout expected the number of things that is still to come. In regard to Queenslip, we already know what transpired with him in terms of his reprimand. Joe is the only person in the community who will do it. Flip will genuinely care about that. Flip is unconcerned about the intellectuals firing at him. When it comes to this, Flip doesn't mind being in the spotlight because he will benefit from it. Flip only sees that from this. He does go on Spaces now. He went to the op and used his eyes to express his thoughts or in a sense to apologize. He knew he got under Joe's skin with that fight, so even though he didn't support his behavior, he spoke out about it to everyone in the neighborhood. He knew his reaction was incorrect. Marc was aware of his expected reaction to that, but he knew it wasn't correct. And turnover. Even though I believe you were justified in all you did, he nevertheless expressed regret for what Joe would witness. On the other hand, when it comes to Marc, nobody's interested in what's happening outside of the JVP. I'm referring to him getting into problems, burning bridges, and other such situations. And since Joe didn't chastise him, everyone believes Marc is getting away with it. Additionally, Marc is being blamed by many individuals. However, Marc could not foresee what would happen later on, and I can already see it occurring, which is the recognition he's gaining from the JVP will begin to have an impact on how he currently receives his income. We discuss it frequently. Hell, I recently created a video about Gilbert Arenas on the subject. When he was taken into custody, he hid the bag. They removed his name from that. Now it's the R Arena. We aren't able to associate with you any longer. We discussed John Moran's gun drawing incident on Instagram Live. Whoa. We will not fire you, but we must step back from having you represent Nike any longer. This bad light is not necessary for us. What occurs when all of the seminars that have previously been scheduled for Marc decide not to do so after seeing what you did to Queenslip? In any case, when we think ourselves as intelligent, we treat ourselves that way. Even though we disagree with what you did, I apologize, but this cannot be made public. Even though this is only the first occurrence, this is receiving much too much negative coverage. I'm not saying that they would remove him from this, but what would happen if he kept going viral in this manner? Because I was paying attention to something that they weren't during Joe's tirade. Marc's friends is now Joe's adversary. They are now enemies. So Joe will blame everything he does that has a political bent. He's going to ridicule it. He's going to say something disparaging about it. Joe will become enraged whenever Marc stands up for any of his friends in the political arena. And the money will increase if they keep butting heads. As we all know, Marc is intelligent, and if he is, he will figure out a way to speak with Joe behind the scenes and ask him, hey, can we let this die here?
I can't allow you to keep my pals elsewhere. Because people were phoning to ask why Marc wasn't standing up for his pals. You should be able to express yourself freely. He did and was to a certain extent, but they're expecting him to stand up and protrude his chest for them. Now, if he does that, things may go anyway. He can turn Joe into an enemy, and you don't want to do that because Joe is now helping you out financially. This is where you're getting all of your fame and attention. Or, worse yet, you remain silent, which is essentially what he did. You raise the money on both ends, after he lets both sides take their shots. You cannot take sides on this because it would be disrespectful to the intellectuals to see you siding with your employer. Let me take it back. I'm not even attempting to view things that way. However, they will say pick a side, and since you're not picking our side, we're through with you if they observe you aligning yourself with Joe. The blackball. There is a rumor going around town that you are no longer welcome here. In addition to the fact that they won't support you anymore if you keep shadowing that barrier, Joe may become offended that you're not standing up for him. It was who offered you another chance in the spotlight. You have all already heard my remarks regarding the Patreon stats. Guys, there is definitely something there. Moving forward, we must keep an eye on Joe and Marc's relationship. And because Joe put Marc in the corner, here is the actual starting point. His back was against the catwall, not on the wall. He had to choose while he was in the corner. Will I pick a side, or am I at a fork in the road? Turn right or left? And regrettably, Marc is unable to move to the left or right currently. Let's hope that this is not offensive to any party at this time. However, if this keeps happening, you have to pick on Flip with someone who is considered to be on your level, which is why you and IS went viral in the manner that you did. Not because of what you and IS said, but because it was an intellectual correcting IS. That moment became viral, but there will be indications if we go back and examine that. There will be indications. Flip's blow-up has essentially already occurred, but everyone else responds similarly. Whether anyone believes it or not, Flip blows his head gasket every time someone criticizes him because of the manner he has notoriety. Essentially, they're saying that they don't want to see him in public because they think he's a thug. And Marc does that, albeit orally. Observe how Marcus raises his voice and becomes agitated, as well as all the instances in which he had a verbal argument. What happens when individuals begin to piece things together? Joe does so, and the other side does the same, culminating in a full-scale smear campaign because of this particular incident. So this goes pretty deep, and Marc is aware of this. Marc is now further encroaching on that corner. So pay attention to his topics, how he brings them up, and how he speaks about other individuals moving forward. Because of the rising numbers, I have to keep putting in my best effort in showing up for the JBP. Everything is going up, including my profile. But I can't simply sour relations with those who helped put me in my current situation. And while I'm not claiming that these have a pool, things can get really hazy if enough of them get together. But please let me know in the comments. I might be bothering you. You all know me. I might be bothering you. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Hey, I really wanted to post this on YouTube, but I'm not going to because I don't want to offend anyone. However, I can see what's happening in this world of places. I've witnessed the explosions. I see the disassociations. Without a doubt, I will discuss it on Patreon. Go check that out, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the page. You already know how we're rolling if you have. Baby, you already know what's happening here. We will just continue to move forward. I'll see you all soon. Calm.